Welcome to Doctorate Diaries brought to you by Biovagon. In this podcast, we dive into the untold story of PhD researchers, their challenges, the trumps, and everything in between. And I'm excited to have Deva Asirvadham Ravi with us today. And Mr. Deva is currently pursuing PhD in Laboratory of Veterinary Science and Biotechnology at Gyeongsang National Institute, South Korea. So, welcome to the show, and it's great to have you here. Let's start off with a quick introduction from you. Can you tell us a bit about yourself?
Actually, my name is Deva Asirvadham. I'm pursuing PhD in Gyeongsang National University in South Korea. So there are 11 universities, national universities in South Korea. One among the 11 national universities, Gyeongsang National University. So my research is basically focused on my laboratory is pharmacology and toxicology. My primary focus is to uh, do transcriptome works and mostly bioinformatics works.
Okay. So, everyone has a story about how they ended up in research. What's yours?
Yeah.
Was there a specific moment or experience that sparked your interest in pursuing PhD?
Uh, Everyone has that spark. For me, when I was doing masters, I get interested to pursue PhD. Uh, I have come from the rural areas, so I don't know about the subjects. Initially, I was not interested to pursue studies. Initially, my aim was to complete one degree, get a job, and finish it. Get a job and then finish it. Okay, just like say simply settle. I don't want to study hard. Once I come to undergrad, uh, there is also I find difficulties because I was studying in different language in my schoolings. When it comes to undergrad, it's English, so I was bit confused, and then I was not able to focus on subjects because my primary focus is on language. So my colleagues used to speak in English, but I was not able to speak with communicate with them in English. So that time I decided, okay, this is not going to work for me. Better we I quit the studies, go to job. But after that, went to the internship for 1 week in DRDO. There, three fellows they gave motive and then apply for a masters. That time, without knowingly, I just applied for masters. I got selected into Bardher University. Once I get into the Bardher University, my level of knowledge is improved. I want to focus on subjects, uh, especially in genetic engineering. In Till my schooling, I was very much interested in genetic engineering, but I was just moved to computer science in 11th, 12th. After that, I studied one biology. Without a biology knowledge, I pursued biology. After coming to masters, uh, I try to focus on both subjects, bioinformatics and uh, wet lab experiments. So those three guys from JRF, Pandian, Vignesh, and Monojit, those three people were encouraged me to pursue masters. That spark gives me to pursue PhD.
That's nice to have such friends. Okay. We hear a lot of technical terms when it comes to your research. But if you could
Yes.
explain your research in a sentence or two that can anyone could understand, how would you do that?
Uh, in a sentence means I'm working in a snake venom.
Okay.
So I was very much interested about protein structures. So uh, to see the molecular architecture of the proteins.
Okay. So you're working to see the proteins in the snake venom.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay. So what excites you most about your research?
Mm, Specifically, uh,
Like, what is keeping you going even when the things are tough, but you are like, I want to do this research?
mm, because I love proteins.
Okay, nice. And What's been the biggest surprise or unexpected twist in your PhD?
Ending up in the Gyeongsang National University because I this is was the place I actually I didn't apply for this institute. Previously, my focus was on Europe countries, but
Okay.
accidentally I ended into Gyeongsang.
So how you are
But
feeling
this is
now?
a good place. Uh, I'm very much enjoyed because my professor was so comfortable. He taking care of everything. So good to be here.
Okay. And what's been the hardest part of your PhD journey? How did you handle it?
Uh, Actually, I miss my family. That's the only thing. Apart from that, like subject wise, I don't feel any difficulties because I have seniors and friends to help and figure it out. Uh, I miss my family. That's the only hardest thing. And
Okay.
food.
And how do you stay motivated through the lows? Like, is there any specific song or routine that keeps you going?
Uh, I used to go to play badminton and football.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. When you hit those moments of self doubt, how do you remind yourself that you are on the right track?
Self doubts. 2 minutes. I'll just think.
Okay.
Uh, because I set my final goals. Uh, to reach that final goal, I can bend my short-term goals accordingly.
I think you're very
Example,
confident. You're very confident on your path of PhD.
yeah, because I figured it out in while working in SRM. I figured it out how I have to be in the future.
Yeah.
Because in SRM, I most of the time I feel doubted about myself
Okay.
whether it will work or not work. But after that, I get to know that okay, whatever happens, I have a final goal. To attain that final goal, I have to bend myself to reach the final goal,
Okay. Nice.
not for short-term goals.
Okay. So, if you could go back to your first year as a PhD student and give yourself one piece of advice, what could it be?
Uh, Work hard, little more,
Okay.
because in India, we know how we have to work. We have a pressure. Here, I don't have any pressure, so I have to work by myself. So sometimes I'm lethargic to work.
Okay.
That means I'll postpone the works. If I have to finish it by today, I postpone for few days the
Okay.
experiments.
How do you manage the balance between research, your personal life?
Uh, Both are parallel ways. It's
Okay.
like a railway track. We have to maintain in equal. Otherwise, it will collapse. For me, Monday to Friday, we have to work 9 to 6. Saturday, Sunday, my time.
Okay.
So go out with friends.
Okay. And what other skills have you developed that you think will be useful in your career, whether inside or outside of academia during this PhD?
I'm learning programming,
Okay.
extensively learning programming. Initially, I thought I will work only with wet lab experiment, but after second year, I thought, okay, it will not enough. Nowadays, we know mostly people are working with machine learning and artificial intelligence. So I want to develop my knowledge in programming. So I'm learning programming.
Okay. And have you thought about life after PhD? What's your dream job or career, or how do you see your research impacting that?
Uh, Actually, I want to end up in the job after PhD. Uh, it's like in the future, after 45 years, if you ask me what I want to be, definitely I would have a one company. It's like not a small company. It's like a pharmaceutical industry. Like I want to make. For that, I want to know about the knowledge of the industry. So instead of going for postdoc, I plan to move to switch to job after
Okay.
PhD. I join to job and then I learn things and then execute
Okay.
in when I come to company. I'll execute mine.
Okay. If your PhD journey was made into a movie, what could the title be and who could play you?
Uh, Once again, the question.
If your PhD journey was into a movie, what could the title be? Movie title, and which hero or someone would play you?
I, I'll just clarify. You are asking the real time movies, or
Like scientific movies.
if
Yeah.
uh, usually I don't watch movies much, but
Okay.
I watched The Man Who Knew Infinity and Interstellar. Like that movies only. Those movies only I watch.
So, okay, what will be the title of the movie of your PhD
Uh,
journey?
mm, the Man Who Knows the Molecular Architecture.
Nice. Okay. What's one thing you wish you know before starting your PhD? Any tips for new students about to embark on this journey?
One thing, uh, learn techniques and be strong in basics because the basics of the science keeps me actually whenever me and my professor have interactions, they are old persons. They know only classical science, so the basics will help you to communicate with the old peoples. So my suggestion is first learn basics and then technical skills
Okay. What's the
because technical
best?
skills
Yes.
actually, yeah, technical skills in the sense anyone can do experiments, but interpreting the results is more important. So that's what people are expecting because experiment anyone can do. If we have SOP, everyone can do the experiments, but how we are interpreting the results is more important.
Okay. What's the best or worst advice you have ever heard about doing a PhD?
uh, uh, Worst advice is you have to do the incredible things in PhD journey. It's like mm, whatever the things you are doing in a PhD, you have to do big. That's what the initial idea of initial advice I got, but that was not a good idea because PhD is a just degree to pursue more. So we have to consider PhD as a degree, not like a big deal.
Okay. What's one thing about your research that you wish people outside of academia understood? Something that would make them appreciate what you're working on more.
One second, please.
What's one thing about your research that you wish people outside of academia understood?
Hmm, what is the one? Working with Venoms, that's what people will know.
Okay.
Just with Venoms.
Okay.
If I tell the complex things of what I'm working, people mostly won't understand. So everyone will knows about I'm working with Venoms.
Okay. If you would have any superpower to help with your research, what could it be?
Uh, Memorize all the things and don't forget.
Okay. Okay. Do your parents understand what you are researching or do they have their own ideas about it?
No, actually, my parents don't know about my research. They just know I am doing some works in lab works. I am doing PhD. That's what they know. They don't know much about my research works.
Okay. And what's one thing your guide has taught you that you have carried with your throughout your PhD?
Hmm. Consistency,
Okay.
because every week lab meetings, so we cannot skip the lab meetings. Even if we have results or without results, we have a meetings.
Okay. So this is like a big general questions. But now we have another session called Researcher's Choice, which is like a rapid fire. It's like tea or coffee, pipette or centrifuge, something like that. You have to choose one.
Okay,
Okay. So coffee or tea for staying awake in the lab.
coffee,
Early mornings or late nights for research productivity.
late nights,
Weekend off or lab with never ends.
weekend off.
Plan every detail or go with the flow.
It's mixed, I think.
Okay.
Okay, go with the flow.
More experiments or more writing.
More experiments.
Field work or lab work.
Lab work.
Wet lab or dry lab.
Mm, dry lab.
Data analysis or literature review.
Data analysis.
What's your favorite research tool or equipment?
Mm, research tool or equipment. In instruments or programming language like that.
You can tell both. In
For
instruments,
me, instruments, cryo-EM,
programming, bioinformatics part.
bioinformatics for GROMAX.
Okay. What's your least favorite research tool?
Least favorite research tool. No, I don't.
Okay. And what's
Yeah,
your favorite research technique or method? Which experiment you like to do most?
protein purification, chromatography
Okay.
techniques.
Least favorite method?
Mm. Um, least favorite methods. No,
Okay.
no
Do
idea.
you prefer to work in the wet lab or the dry lab? Most of the time.
But dry lab.
Okay. What's the most productive habit you have developed during your PhD?
Mm, reading,
Okay. What's the most exciting development in your field right now?
artificial intelligence,
Okay.
protein structure prediction.
Who is your favorite mentor or role model in the world of research?
Mm, Venkatraman Ramakrishnan.
Okay. What's your favorite thing about being a researcher?
Uh, favorite things. Having coffee, I think.
Okay. Being a professor or moving into industry?
Moving into industry.
What's one research tool or item you wish existed but doesn't?
Mm, once again,
What's your favorite research tool you wish
uh,
existed but doesn't?
um, supercomputer, quantum computing.
Okay. If you could change one thing about your research journey, what would it be?
Sorry,
If you could change one thing about your research journey, what it could be?
mm, change nothing.
Okay. And I have a personal question apart from this. You are also working in bioinformatics, and I'm
Yes.
also working in bioinformatics. So, what do you think? What is important to learn bioinformatics? Because with me, many people ask is where to start bioinformatics. Should I know coding to learn bioinformatics? And some have doubt like I don't know where to begin to learn bioinformatics. So, for such students, what you could like to tell? Like, if someone wants to start to learn bioinformatics, what is the advice you could give?
Want to learn bioinformatics? Practice. Actually, for me, I started without knowing knowledge of bioinformatics. I just practiced it. Uh, Initially, I started with molecular docking because it's easy to understand. But sometimes we feel get a doubt about how to install the packages. Sometimes the system will give error. So by figuring out, we can know about the computer knowledge, and then we can get practiced used to it.
Okay.
My suggestion is, for now I'm learning Fortran little bit, so those languages will very helpful. Mostly people will focus on Python for data science and machine language. Except Python, if students want to learn, I suggest Fortran
Okay.
for extensive calculation.
Okay. So we are at the end. And thank you so much for sharing your amazing journey with us today. And it's been such a pleasure to hear about your experience and your advices and everything. I'm sure that our listeners will find it both inspiring and relatable. And before we end this session, I like to nominate one of your friend for our next episode. Who you think like their research journey also should be here to the people, youngsters, or upcoming junior scientists
Um, in India,
anywhere. We will contact them and we'll invite them to our podcast.
uh, Veerapandian,
Okay.
I can suggest many names,
Okay.
and Archana, her work is good, and then Yasir,
Yeah, I contacted Archana and Yashir already, so they will be in the podcast.
yeah, Veerapandian, his work also good.
Yeah. Okay, I'll contact Mr. Veerapandian. Okay, great, and we'll definitely reach them. Okay, so I could like to hear your thoughts. How does it feel to share your research journey on this podcast? Because when I searched in YouTube, there is not much podcast or PhD students sharing their journey, like something not so technical, but even the small group of audience can understand. So this is the initiative from Biovagon, and how do you feel about the questions, or how do you feel this session?
Yeah, I feel very much good and thankful because this is the first time I'm also doing this kind of thing. So I'm happy to share my journey with you.
Okay, thank you. And it's been a wonderful having you on the podcast. And to our listeners, if you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to subscribe, leave the review, and share this podcast with someone who needs little inspiration. And follow us on the social media handles like Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube to know more updates from Biowagon. Also, stay curious, stay motivated, and remember you are never alone on this research journey. So, see you on the next episode of Doctorate Diaries powered by Biowagon.